This is West African Voice Network.
Good evening and thank you for joining us on Newswave on West African Voice Network. I am Fatima Ibrahim. Our bulletin begins in Nigeria, where President Tinubu to meet power sector executives as the country faces blackout threat over 4 trillion naira debt. Nigeria is on the verge of a major electricity crisis with approximately 4 trillion naira, around $2.7 billion debt, threatening to shut down the country's power supply and leave millions in the dark. To avert the looming crisis, President Bola Tinubu is preparing to meet with leaders of the country's electricity generating companies, GenCos. The meeting follows emergency discussions held on Tuesday in Abuja between Energy Minister Adebayo Adelabu and GenCos chairman. A statement from the Energy Ministry released on Sunday confirmed that liquidity challenges are placing the national grid under severe strain, with fears of widespread blackouts mounting. Of the 4 trillion naira owed, 2 trillion naira is for power supplied in 2024, while 1.9 trillion represent arrears accumulated over previous years. The government says it intends to settle a substantial portion in cash and the rest through financial instruments such as promissory notes over a 6-month timeline. Special advisor to the Energy Minister Bola Tinubu noted that this repayment strategy will be presented to the president during the upcoming meeting as the administration scrambles to stabilize the sector. While no official date has been announced, internal negotiations between key stakeholders are ongoing against the backdrop of a looming energy crisis that could leave millions without power. We move now to Côte d'Ivoire as thousands protest demanding Tidjane Thiam's reinstatement. A large rally was held over the weekend in Côte d'Ivoire as thousands of opposition supporters protested the exclusion of candidate Tidjane Thiam from the upcoming presidential election. Top figures in the Democratic Party of Côte d'Ivoire gathered in Abidjan on Saturday calling for nationwide demonstrations following an April 22nd court ruling that removed Thiam from the electoral list. The protest marked the most significant show of support for the Ivorian opposition leader to date, surpassing a previous April demonstration outside court buildings that attracted only a few hundred participants. According to the court, the 62-year-old former minister was disqualified because he lost his Ivorian nationality upon acquiring French citizenship in 1987. Several other opposition leaders, including former President Laurent Gbagbo, have also been barred from contesting the presidency due to prior legal convictions. Meanwhile, the ruling party led by President Alassane Ouattara has yet to announce its candidate. Ouattara, who has held office since 2011, has expressed his desire to remain in power. In a similar development in Mali, authorities blocked pro-democracy protests as tension rise over political reform. Authorities in Mali blocked a protest in Bamako organized by the Initiative of Political Parties for the Charter, IPAG, and other civil society groups aimed at defending constitutional order and opposing the proposed dissolution of political parties. Hundreds of demonstrators over the weekend gathered outside the Palace of Culture but were denied access by heavily deployed national police forces. Protesters chanted slogans critical of the military-led transition before being dispersed with tear gas. The demonstration came in response to recent proposals by the forces Vive de la Nation, which called for the installation of General Assimi Goïta as President of the Republic for a renewable 5-year term and the dissolution of all political parties. The recommendation followed a 2-day national consultation in Bamako on April 26 to 27, 2025, aimed at overhauling the political party system. Proposals included setting a 100 million CFA deposit to form a political party, limiting party leadership to individuals aged 25 to 75, and requiring strong regional representation. Additional suggestions involved abolishing public funding for parties, restricting community and religious leaders from electoral roles, and removing the official status of opposition leader. Participants also called for halting electoral activities, maintaining the current transitional government, and requiring prior approval for political protest. And we move now to Ghana, where President Mahama enforces penalty on government defaulters over asset declaration failures. President John Mahama has directed that government appointees who miss the 31st March deadline deadline for declaring their assets must forfeit 3 months' salary for the funds to be donated to the Ghana Medical Trust Fund. The directive was announced by the minister responsible for government communications, Felix Kwake Ofosu, in a Facebook post on Monday. According to the minister, any official who fails to comply by the end of the following day will face immediate dismissal from their position. The Ghana Medical Trust Fund, also known as Mahama Cares, is a government initiative dedicated to supporting individuals across the country living with chronic illnesses. And with that, we've come to the end of today's edition of Newswave on West African Voice Network. For more news from across the region and beyond, visit wavn.org. You can also stay connected with us on X, Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn at WAVN News, and on TikTok and YouTube at West African Voice Network. I am Fatima Ibrahim. Many thanks for listening.